Hey guys, and welcome to I Want My Angst TV Reviews. I'm Sarah, and today we are going to be talking about the Netflix original, Fate, the Winx Saga. Or I like to call it Hogwarts with fairies. What up guys, welcome to I Want My Angst TV Reviews. Before we get started, make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell, and comment along as we talk about the Netflix original, Fate, the Winx Saga. I mean, it's really only a matter of time until every child show gets the Riverdale treatment, right?
They deserve to know what I am.
Fate, the Winx Saga was adapted into a more young adult teen show by Brian Young, who helmed The Vampire Diaries for a while. So if you like to sink your teeth into shows like that, then this series just might be for you. I kind of like to describe Fate, the Winx Saga as fairies, mysticalness meets Harry Potter meets Game of Thrones, where you have these students who are trying to learn how to harness their powers, and then there's an outside force trying to break through a wall that they haven't seen or believed in a very long time. With, of course, a teenage angsty Riverdale twist.
I think she's crazier than a serial killer on bath salts, but so what?
Fate, the Winx Saga is based off of an Italian children's show that then became a Nickelodeon show that then also is on Netflix, which is how I found it. It's super cute. It was originally like fairy girls at Alfea school in their fairy world, and they just like are bubbly and fun and learning their powers. And then they become like these superheroes in another spin-off version. However, in Fate, the Winx Saga, these are not your average fairies. These are not your children's fairies. Nay, these are not your Tinkerbell fairies. This series follows a girl named Bloom who didn't realize that she was a fairy until 3 months prior after a tragic accident where she lit her family home on fire. She was then found by the leader of the fairy school and brought to Alfea so that she could learn how to control her powers. Our leading lady, Bloom, is played by Abigail Cohen, who is not unfamiliar with this mystical genre. She was also in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina that you can find on Netflix. She does a great job of playing a tormented girl filled with guilt and remorse and just trying to figure out who she is, where she came from, why she has these powers, and goes along on this journey of self-discovery while also saving the day. At the school, this is where we meet her fabulous roommates. There's Musa, who is a mind fairy. She's like a super empath. She's basically like the Jasper Hale of the bunch.
Jasper, no fair with the mood control thing.
Sorry, Bella.
We have Tara, who is an earth fairy who can control plants. She's your little resident Hufflepuff. We meet Aisha, who is a water fairy. And we also meet Stella, who is a princess and also the bitchiest fairy of them all, and she is a light fairy. This series builds its own world, and I'm gonna try to explain it the best that I understood it when rewatching the section where they explain it, because I didn't quite get it the first time.
I'm sure it must be overwhelming, an entirely new world.
The fairies live in the Otherworld, and there are 7 worlds within the Otherworld. Solaria is one of them, and Alfea is the school for the fairies within that realm. Bloom is from California. She is not from the Otherworld. She is now a fish out of water at a fairy school. It is very reminiscent kind of Hogwarts, right? Where Harry Potter doesn't realize that he's a wizard, Harry. However, this is not Hogwarts. This is not your average fairy school. These girls do not have wings, a la Tinkerbell. Apparently they explain it as that it's old magic and it just disappeared. It was probably because of budget reasons. However, this series does grab from a lot of different worlds that I enjoy. You have Harry Potter with the fairy school. You also have a Game of Thrones-esque thing where there's the burned ones that everyone believes are extinct. No one believes they still exist. No one has seen one in decades. Until one day Bloom arrives and then burned ones are back. and ready to take over the school.
The history of this place is a lot darker than Dowling and the rest of the faculty want us to know.
We do meet a handful of boys that I actually don't think are fairies. There are male fairies that do all sorts of things. Tara's father is a fairy. The boy she has a crush on is a fairy. You know, Tara's brother is a fairy. But there's this group of warriors that I'm actually unsure if they were fairies, because when they are fighting the burned ones, they don't use any magic and they just have swords and staffs and stuff. And I feel like that needed to be clarified a little bit. So maybe I missed something, and if I did, let me know, because you know, when you binge something, you miss things.
So what did I miss?
I've seen a handful of reviews that have come out so far that think that this show is lackluster and has no bite and no substance, and I just honestly disagree with them completely. And I feel like that maybe they just don't like fantasy shows. I'm a huge fan of the Vampire Diaries. I love Legacies. I like Supernatural. You know, a lot of shows that are kind of floofy and fun with big heart and lessons about growing up and learning who you are. As much as they can be a trope or unoriginal, every once in a while you find something that still tells the story we're familiar with in a fun and interesting way. And it's just entertaining, and not a lot more, and that's okay. Not every show needs to be Shakespeare. Not every show needs to be Game of Thrones or even Harry Potter. Sometimes you just want something fun and entertaining like Twilight. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I know it's the fluorescence.
I will say there is one criticism that is going around that I actually kind of agree with. The casting on this show is a little problematic. Musa and Tara were originally designed from famous actresses. Musa was designed after Lucy Liu, and Tara was designed after Jennifer Lopez. Now, if you look at the two girls who play Musa and Tara, you'll notice something is missing. So I did a little research because I didn't want to just assume anything. The actress who plays Musa is Alicia Applebaum. She is apparently a quarter Asian, but when a character is designed after Lucy Liu, I feel like that's not enough. And that is kind of going the route of Jasmine in the live action Aladdin, where people just kind of go, huh, it's in there somewhere. What? When it comes to Tara, being designed after Jennifer Lopez. Now, I will say I appreciate that we have body diversity, but are you really telling me that you couldn't find an America Ferrera from the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants to play this character? So then you could have had both. You could have kept it based on the original while adding bodily diversity. I will say, even though this is an issue for me and for quite a few other people, that I think the girls did a very lovely job with the roles that they were given. I enjoyed them and their storylines, and I think they did well. I just wish casting and the producers would have thought about it a little harder, because representation still matters, even if it's a show that's filmed in the UK.
The constable is responsible. Now how does that sound?
Overall, I really enjoyed Fate, the Winx Saga, and I hope we get a second season. I thought it was really fun. I cared about the characters. I liked the storylines. I loved that it was familiar. I don't care that we're in Alfea, a fairy school, and we've had the wizarding school. Okay, great. We could still have fairy schools and monster schools. I don't care. I was entertained. And I thought the actors did a lovely job. So if you're looking for something fun, along the lines of Harry Potter, Vampire Diaries, even Riverdale, then check out Fate the Winx Saga so that we can get our season 2 that I'm dying for.
Come on, TV, give me some of that sweet, sweet pep.
Thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm Sarah. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, like this video, comment what you think about Fate the Winx Saga, and ring that bell so you don't miss any more angsty videos. Until next time.